Against Indiana, Alonzo Mourning had one of his best efforts of the season. 25 points and 18 rebounds in a game the Heat nearly pulled out when Vashawn Leonard went off in the fourth quarter. 16 points, including 4 threes, before Indiana pulled away to win by 14. Tonight, it's Utah's Hall of Fame combination. Karl Malone, averaging 25.5 points, third best in the NBA, and 11 rebounds. Partnered with John Stockton, #1 all-time assist man, and #2 in the NBA this season after another gold in Atlanta. And now we bring you a rare look inside the mind of Pat Riley. What is he thinking about? Well, will he play or won't he? We'll find out next on Sunshine Network. Sunshine Network presents the Miami Heat. Tonight, live from Miami Arena in downtown Miami, it's the Utah Jazz visiting at 18-4, and the home team, the Heat, at 18-6. And good evening, hello once again, everybody. I'm Dave Lamont. Welcome inside the arena for what should be a special NBA game. Two of the league's best in the early going, clashing for one of only 2 games, with Miami due for a January visit to Utah's Salt Lake City home, one of the toughest places to play in the NBA. But tonight, the question for the Miami Heat, Tim Hardaway's health. Will his bad back allow him to play? Maybe these two gentlemen have the answer for you. Eric Reed and Dr. Jack Ramsey. Guys?
Thank you very much, Dave Lamont. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a big-time Thursday night here in the NBA. This is a heavyweight battle. Utah owns the 4th best record. Miami is number 5 in the NBA standings. And earlier today, Pat Riley told us how much respect he has for 18-4 Utah.
They're a smart team. They keep it simple. But they have what I call, in the beginning of their offense, there's a lot of one-pass triggers, where they score off the initial pass or the second pass in their offense. And we got to really do a good job, in those situations. So they have a great passer in Stockton, a great post-up player in Malone, and a great shooter in Hornacek. So they have 3 players that you really have to concentrate on.
Pat Riley speaking in glowing terms over what he calls the smartest team in the NBA today. Before we talk more about Utah, everybody wants to know, Jack, about Tim Hardaway's status. Missed the final 3 quarters Tuesday night and practice yesterday. Did take part in the shoot-around, is warming up, and we do expect Timmy Hardaway in the starting lineup.
He sounded very optimistic when I talked with him in the trainer's room, Eric. And Tim Hardaway is a fierce competitor. He wants to be in this game when the opposition has a player as good as John Stockton.
Well, he's ready for that challenge. You hope he is physically able for that challenge. Another guy who will be tested tonight, P.J. Brown. Remember, when he was with the Nets, he was their starting small forward. He's a power player now and will have a daunting task defending Karl Malone.
Karl Malone doesn't beat you with leaping ability, Eric. He out-muscles you and out-finesses you with position. He's great on the run. Stockton has him in his vision at all times, and all he needs are his fingertips open, and Stockton will put the ball right there. Karl Malone, a great finisher, a high challenge for P.J. Brown and Kurt Thomas, who will also get a shot at him, I'm sure.
Pat Riley calls Utah the smartest team in the NBA, and I think everybody around this league agrees. No team executes their offense quite as precise as Utah.
Well, give John Stockton the major credit for that. I've never seen a guard who operates the half-court offense as effectively as Stockton. No one ever. This guy in half-court is a magician with the ball, has huge hands, which enables him to have great control of his passing and great vision to see everybody on the floor.
As Dr. Jack calls him so aptly, the peerless passer and the mailman in Miami for a house call. The Heat hope to send them to Orlando tomorrow night with a loss. We'll have the tip in just a moment.
This presentation of Miami Heat basketball on Sunshine Network is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. By Office Depot, taking care of business for companies of every size, everywhere, every day. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. For some, recess never ends. Life is a sport. Drink it up. By By Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right. By the Discover Card, the card that pays you back. And by Miller Lite. You've got the great taste of an ice cold Miller Lite. Life is good.
Welcome back to Miami Arena. Big time battle tonight, and interesting. The Heat have the NBA's most road wins. The Jazz have the most NBA wins at home, but neither club in that spot tonight. Let's meet the starters.
Forward number 367 from Long Beach State, Brian Russell. And guard number 14, 6'4" from Iowa State, Jeff Hornacek. And guard number 12, 6'1" from Gonzaga, John Stockton. And at center number 0072 from Kansas, Greg Ostertag. The head coach of the Jazz is Jerry Sloan. The assistant coaches, Phil Johnson, Gordon Chiesa, Kenny Natt, and David Fredman. The trainer is Mike Shemensky. Forward, number 966 from Central Michigan, Dan Majerle. And forward, number 42, 6'11" from Louisiana Tech, P.J. Brown. And guard number 5'6" from Serbia, Sasha Danilovic. At guard, number 10, 6 foot from UTEP, Tim Hardaway. And at center, number 33, 6'10" from Georgetown, Alonzo Mourning.
Well, Pat Riley happy to have his leader back in Tim Hardaway. Pat making the point yesterday after the Heat practice without Tim. He said if Payton were to go down with an injury, it would affect their teams too. No question, when you lose an all-star caliber player, there is a drop-off. But I don't think Pat was pleased with or without Tim Hardaway, the way his team played and the tenor of their emotion against that game with Indiana.
No, even with Hardaway on the floor, Eric, Tim Hardaway was 1 for 4 when he went down with injury and the team was struggling for offense. The game was tied at 16 at that point, but the Heat certainly was not an effective offensive machine at that point. And the Heat must get back to that, especially against a team that defends as well as the Utah Jazz. This is an excellent defensive team.
The toughness of Tim Hardaway, chiropractor, massages, stretching, and he's back. As you look at your starting matchups, brought to you by Southwest Airlines, underrated member of Utah. Their first shot blocking center since Mark Eaton, second-year man Greg Ostertag. He's added quite a bit to this Utah group.
Oh, he's a big body, Eric, not only in length, but in mass. This guy takes up a lot of room in the basket area and has developed into a very good shot blocker. Stole the tap that time. That should be a violation. They're going to re-tap it.
Our officials tonight, Paul Mihalik, Joe Borgia, and Bill Spooner. And here we are in the Heat's house, underway. Utah has played the most home games and the fewest road games in the NBA this year, but that will soon turn. They play 15 of their next 20 away from Salt Lake City. Off the hands of Dan Majerle, it goes out of bounds. Well, the Heat hoping that Majerle and Danilovic will have their offensive games on target tonight. Both have struggled a bit from the edges.
And you just saw another skill of Karl Malone. He's a great passer for a big guy.
Danilovic on Hornacek. P.J. Brown on the mailman, who turns and fires.
Look at it. Unstoppable is that shot. Karl Malone, whirl, shoot, right in your face.
So here is Tim Hardaway, who missed the final 3 quarters against Indiana when he went down with back spasms. Hornacek knocked it out of bounds.
Jack, it's amazing. Utah with the NBA's best shooting percentage at 48%, and they also have the NBA's best field goal percentage defensively, so they hold their opponents to the league's lowest shooting percentage. That's a great tandem of stats to have.
You got to be successful, Eric. Here goes Hardaway.
Well, he got to the rim but missed the lay-in. Maybe a little tentative. Gets it back. Marley for three. And Thunder Dan off the mark, shooting just 28% from the field in his last 6. Minute in, Utah leads it 2-0. John Stockton in his 13th season. This is Ostertag for the hook. And Utah in front 4-zip.
Not bad, Greg Ostertag. Good feed by Stockton, which is a given. John Stockton makes very few errors with the ball. 10.5 assists a game, 3 turnovers. That's just the kind of percentage that you like to have for your point guard. Single coverage.
A 280-pound Ostertag defending Mourning and called for the foul.
Yeah, Zoe is too quick for Ostertag. In a straight foot race, Zoe would beat him in his quickness. Watch this move. He gets past Ostertag, who doesn't even make the first foot slide, relying on his hand check. That's not going to get it done.
Ostertag goes 7'2", 280 pounds. Tim Hardaway throws up a triple. And the Heat have missed their first 3 shots. Trail it 4-zip. John Stockton down the lane out to Hornacek. And Mourning with a rebound. Danilovic to the lane. Out it comes to Zoe. Off balance. Good defense by Ostertag. And here comes Stockton. Pulls up for three-pointer.
John Stockton shooting 50% from three-point land, 54% overall.
Mourning on the baseline and a second foul on Ostertag.
That's good strategy by Coach Riley. Take it at Ostertag, and that's going to get him out of the game early. Ball goes into Zoe. He's going to turn and face Ostertag and put it on the floor right away. Bingo. See again, Ostertag too slow with the foot moves. Gets him in trouble, so Greg Foster now in the game.
And this is not a position of great depth for Utah. Foster, the 7-year veteran out of UTEP. And this is his 6th team in his 7 years. Here's Sasha. Got it.
Motion. Nice motion. First, Marley off the low screen, and then right on his heels, Danilovic came off open enough to get the shot and make it.
This is Brian Russell, the 4-year vet at Long Beach State, on the reverse. Good help from Zoe, but Mourning will be hit with a foul, helping out Dan Marley. It's an interesting matchup. Marley against a very athletic young player in Russell.
We're going to take a look now and see Danilovic. You see him coming on the baseline, opening up, and Hornacek, who's a pretty good defender, just a step too late to cover Sasha.
Jack, one of the things I really love about this Utah team, their makeup. 6 of their 12 players are second-round draft pick. Jerry Sloan does a wonderful job of developing talent. Brian Russell, one of those second-round picks, and I'm talking late, 45th pick in his draft.
Well, I give Scott Layden, the director of player personnel on that team, the major credit there. He does a terrific job in that capacity.
And they've got a second-round pick this year, who we will see later on, Shandon Anderson, who has really added a great deal to Utah. Jazz lead by 4. Danilovic on the runner.
Same play. Same play. Sasha working the baseline, getting the pass again from Marley, this time taking it all the way to the basket.
Now, Sasha has both Heat field goals. Jeff Hornacek in his 11th year out of Iowa State. Started his career with Phoenix, went on to Philadelphia, now to Utah. Stockton got free in the lane. And before the cut, an illegal defense warning against Miami.
You see the very fine basic pass work of the players on this team. Hornacek, Malone, Stockton, of course, that's a given. But these guys are great practitioners of the pass.
Yeah, they average 26 assists and just 15 turnovers as a team. And it went to Hornacek, knocked out by Sasha. Give you another idea of Utah's proficiency on the offensive end. In the league stats, they rank in the top 5 in field goal percentage, free throw percentage, three-point percentage, and points per game. Sasha with a block on Hornacek. Utah will have 14 on the shot clock, but the Heat digging in here in the first quarter.
A good play by Sasha, who got screened but still pursued Hornacek to block that shot from behind.
Of course, Utah had the franchise best 15 straight wins. Russell off the inbounds. Marley with a block from behind. Tim Hardaway ahead for Dan Marley. So finds Danilovic back in the morning against Malone. Shot clock at 11. So gets another try, but hook shot blocked by Foster. Greg Foster coming up with just his 8th block shot of the year. Jazz lead by 2. We've played almost 4 minutes. Karl Malone on the turn. Splash. 2 in a row on turnaround jumpers for the mailman.
Now he's tough down there, Eric. Big arms, strong body. Great position player.
P.J. Brown said he was just hoping to make it tougher looks for the mailman. Marley slashing in, draws a foul. And I guess that's what Dan wants to do. His perimeter game not on track, so he's going to try to do other things.
Well, it helps your perimeter game when you put it on the floor like this. There's Marley with the left-hand dribble getting inside, and that's Karl Malone with the reach-in slash. Put Marley right across the arms.
Alonzo Mourning gets the credit he deserves for his weight room work, and Thunder Dan also an advocate of fitness and work in the weight room, as you can see by his physique. He makes 1 of 2. Miami trails by 3.
Eric, almost all NBA players spend time in the weight room.
Marley and Mourning, 2 of your more enthusiastic weightlifters. Hornacek's miss, rebounded by Zoe. And let's watch Tim Hardaway, see how comfortable he is playing this game after those back spasms kept him out 3 quarters against Indiana.
He seems to be running freely, Eric. Good play. Good sequence of action by the Heat.
Dan Marley slashing through, had it knocked away out of bounds and off his leg. Now your injury report brought to you by HIP Health Plan. Hardaway is back. James Scott, he went through some warm-ups, but still feeling very ill with a pretty severe flu. Everybody healthy for Utah. Under 7 minutes left, first quarter. P.J. Brown beat on the pass. Malone missed the dunk. Good help from Zoe. 8-5, Utah in front by 3. Nice hit into Zoe. On the turn, hooks it home.
Great stuff. Now, Karl Malone will do most of the defense against Mourning. Malone, not as big as Zoe, but has a great knack of getting the ball before you take it to shooting position.
A playoff-like feel. 2 heavyweight teams through the first 2 months. Malone on the drive.
Great play, Dan Marley.
Offensive foul on the mailman, who got right in Bill Spooner's face to object to the call.
Oh, Dan Marley, you take the charge against the mailman, you're getting extra freight, folks.
Oh, you're getting hit by a mail truck. Happy holidays from Miami Arena. Timeout to the Heat.
You're watching Miami Heat basketball on Sunshine Network. Brought to you in part by your local Florida Jeep and Eagle dealers. By Norwegian Cruise Line, the official cruise line of the Miami Heat. And by your local Chevrolet Geo dealers. If you haven't driven a Chevrolet today, you haven't driven today's Chevrolet.
Chilly night outdoors here in Miami, but it's heating up inside Miami Arena. Utah by 1, 6:15 left, first quarter. With Dave Lamont, the Hall of Famer Jack Ramsey, I'm Eric Reed. Happy to have you along. P.J. Brown put it on the floor, lost it, and got it back. 7 on the shot clock. Tim Hardaway off the dribble, called for steps. Now the early happening most influential in this game, Alonzo Mourning getting Greg Ostertag in foul trouble with 2. And just before the timeout, Dan Marley drew a charge on Karl Malone. So the all-star power forward also with 2 fouls, and also on the Utah bench. John Stockton missed the reverse. Brown on the outlet for Hardaway. Timmy will fire. And Hornacek comes out with it. Each shooting 3 of 9. Utah has missed 7 of 10, so neither club off well on the offensive end. Antoine Carr with the air ball. Mourning with his 4th rebound. So Foster and Carr off the bench for Ostertag and Malone. Oh, the crossover. PJ got it off the Hardaway assist.
Great play, Timmy. Hardaway. Now you see it, now you don't. Through the legs, to the hoop, dish it off, easy score.
Miami's first lead of the night. Just over 5 minutes left, first quarter, 9-8 Heat. Brian Russell working on Marley, comes baseline, out to Foster from 20. Dan Marley, out it comes to Hardaway, 3-on-3. Hardaway to the middle, Hardaway on the scoop.
Oh, Tim Hardaway, he's back, folks. He's 100%.
Right now, he is a pain in Utah's back. Heat by 3, 4:40 left, first quarter. Miami playing well.
Sasha doing a very good job defending Hornacek.
Foster on the drive, over Brown, kept alive. Carr on the lay-in. Antoine Carr, the 13-year vet out of Wichita State, hanging on the offensive board for his first deuce.
And Greg Foster surprised everyone with that short drive to the basket. That's the first time I think I've ever seen Foster put it on the floor and drive to the hoop.
Greg Foster impressed Utah enough last year and over the summer to get a new 3-year deal from the Jazz. He has been a journeyman through his career. So, gonna work on the spin, and he got hammered. And for whatever reason, Greg Foster had a problem with it. Now let's take a look back. Tim Hardaway back and making an impact.
Let's get a health report from Hardaway on that dish. Easy one for PJ. And then this time, going in the air, threading his way through the lane. A little leapfrog move by Hardaway, spun that off the glass.
It was your payback playback, brought to you by Discover Card. Now, Jack, a lot to like about this first quarter for Miami on both ends.
Yes, high intensity of play at both ends for the Miami Heat. Jerry Sloan likes to think that his team is being tested on this road trip, Eric. Everybody says you should win at home. They played 15 at home, 7 on the road. They've got to find out if they can win on the road like they do at home.
Howard Eisley, the former Boston College guard, in the game with Hornacek in that backcourt. Antoine Carr got another.
Antoine Carr, underrated player, Eric. Good low post moves. Can face the basket and knock down jumpers like he did that time.
Hardaway on the drive off to Zoe, hung in the air and got fouled again. And one of Miami's keys was get to the free throw line off, and they're doing that, Jack.
Yes, they sure are, Eric. And Hardaway is having his way against anyone who defends him. He's gotten past Stockton, he's gotten past Eisley, and all he has to do is draw the big guys and lay it off, or if nobody comes, score it himself.
Got to look at Jerry Sloan a moment ago. In his 9th year as the head coach of the Jazz, his team has averaged 54 wins a year in his 8 seasons as coach. I think that speaks for itself. Twice he's taken Utah to the Western Finals the last 3 years, and leads the NBA among active coaches in tenure with his team. Does a rock-solid job.
Indeed he does, Eric. Very underrated coach is Jerry Sloan. Makes his guys play together. They work hard. And he's a no-nonsense guy. He's the boss. And that's the way it has to be.
No question about that. Here's Hornacek launching a tough shot. He missed it.
Defense, Stanilovic.
Miami leads by 2. 3:20 left in the first. Hardaway. Yes! A triple.
Hardaway with the pull-up. We got a foul.
Basket counts. And a loose ball foul underneath on Alonzo Mourning. So Zoe has picked up his second foul. And that will bring on former Utah Jazz center Ike Austin for Miami.
There's Hardaway with the pull-up. I don't know that we're going to see Zoe's contact inside. We did not. But that gets Zoe a seat on the bench with his second personal foul in the first period. Ike Austin on the floor.
And he wants to do well against the team that drafted him and played him for his first 3 years. Heat on a 13-4 run. Deflected ball taken by PJ. He'd have a 3-on-1 break. Danilovic from Hardaway and a foul.
Hardaway. He's getting better and better, Eric. Fast break action. Hardaway has a 3-on-1. He can choose his receiver. Watch this. Good outlet by P.J. Brown. Hardaway knows he has numbers. Isley's hot in pursuit, but too late. Sasha with a layup.
And Sasha hits the free throw. 7 for Danilovic. Miami on a 16-4 run. That was your cruise to the hoop. Brought to you by Norwegian Cruise Lines. Well run, fast break for the Heat. And getting a chance to run off sturdy work on this end. P.J. Brown committing the foul. Helping out Ike Austin underneath with Antoine Carr. Brown's first foul. Utah gets their first timeout. The Heat on a 16-4 run have opened up an 8-point lead.
Heat by 8 that time remaining in the first. Let's take a look. This is Brian Russell. Carr gets a back pick from Hornacek, who pops out. Now my question is, are all four, hold it now, run it forward another notch, right there. I think the Jazz is illegal. You've got to have 3 men in the offensive zone. There's only one. This guy should be here, and you've got to have another player in that far corner. They throw over the top here, and the Heat are forced to commit the foul as Antoine Carr got a ball over the top and took it to the basket. But NBA rules are, unless you have 2 players involved on the ball side and 1 player in the corner, weak side, you're illegal. You cannot stretch 4 players across the top, and I think Utah was illegal on that play with its offense.
Adam Keefe in for Utah. Kurt Thomas in the game for Miami. Thomas fires away and misses off the board badly. Kurt Thomas did have a good practice yesterday, according to Pat Riley. And he defends Adam Keefe, the former Atlanta Hawk and Stanford Cardinal, and Thomas called for the push. Good to see Kurt back, his old sly physical self. And it's going to take him a little while to get back into playing condition and a form of old, but he should help considerably once he does.
Yes, I think his rustiness, Eric, was evidenced with that shot he took. High screen and roll.
This is Keefe out to Brian Russell, a much improved 3-point shooter. Danilovic on the rebound with the Heat up by 7. Just over 2 minutes left in what has been an impressive first quarter for the Heat. Hardaway. And we get a loose ball foul underneath on Ike. Sir Isaac Austin picking up his first foul of the night. Ike Austin, his best friend, not only in the NBA, in life, is Karl Malone. They spent a good deal of time together yesterday, and I know how happy the mailman is that Austin has resurrected his professional career.
Well, Karl Malone is a class act, Eric. This guy plays hard, but he's a very caring person. Does a lot of good charity work. He's a man's man.
That's amazing. Karl Malone, only 4 missed games in his career. John Stockton, he's played all 82 games 11 times in his 12 years. So not only have they been good, actually great, they've been durable.
Yeah. Each guy has missed 4 games in his career. A combined 8 games between the two, which is sheer amazing.
Minute 50 left, first quarter. Miami in front by 6, 20-14. Ike Austin against Antoine Carr. Ball broken up, stolen by Adam Keefe.
Bad passing judgment by Ike.
Third turnover, Isley for 3. No. Bounces off. Carr saves it in, but it goes out of bounds. Now both teams playing hard and hustling, as you would expect, but each enjoying marginal success on the offensive end. The Jazz, 5 out of 18. That's 28% shooting. He's far better than that at 47%. Nice pass. Oh, Antoine Carr sent it back at Thomas, but Dan Marley there for the putback.
Excellent defensive play by the Jazz inside on Thomas, who had one right at the hoop.
Second time the Heat have led by 8. Minute left in the first. Jeff Hornacek, having problems with Danilovic, has missed all 4 of his shots and threw it away.
I'll tell you, Sasha's doing a terrific job on Hornacek.
Tim Hardaway. A lot of folks wondered, would he play? Yes. Hardaway for Austin, 16-footer, got it.
We like Ike, Eric. We've said it before. Ike Austin is proving to be an extremely versatile player for the Miami Heat. Inside, face the basket jumpers, knocks down his free throws now.
And Miami has built up a 10-point lead, their biggest of the game. Russell short. Austin clears the board and protects. Ryan Russell going for the steal. Tim Hardaway said, no, you don't. Not in my house.
Hardaway doing a little dance. He's going to go to work on Howard Eisley. He doesn't really need a screen here.
Hardaway down the lane for the runner.
Oh, my. Hardaway. That might have wrenched his back. That was a degree of difficulty. That was a tough one. Tim Hardaway off the glass for the score.
Final seconds wind down in the quarter. Eisley got a deuce at the horn. Howard Eisley with his first score of the game. But Tim Hardaway with that sweet kiss near the end of this quarter. What a period for Hardaway. 7 points, 5 assists.
Hardaway off the glass.
Terrific first quarter for Miami. They shoot 53%, out-rebound Utah 14-8, and get terrific leadership from Tim Hardaway, who had 7 points and 4 assists. What did it take to get Timmy back in the lineup? Dave Lamont has a courtside report.
Eric, from the time that Tim Hardaway was injured on Tuesday night, he went through almost nonstop therapy, about 5 to 6 hours yesterday, 5 to 6 hours today, involving electronic stimulation, chiropractic, deep muscle massage, other therapy exercises, even medication, and of course good old-fashioned rest to get Hardaway ready for this game. He has responded with 7 points and 5 assists in the first quarter.
Hardly a spa day for Hardaway yesterday. He very badly wanted to play this one, and he has started very well. And your front office news brought to you by Office Depot. Yeah, Timmy is the only current Heat player to have ever had a triple-double. He's done it 4 times in his career. Chris Morris, Karl Malone, and Shandon Anderson, the rookie from Georgia, all checking in for Utah, along with John Stockton, as we open the second quarter here in Miami. Danilovic did not miss in the first. Way off the mark on that one. Vashawn Leonard tried to reach out for the rebound, could not. So the Heat go with Hardaway, Leonard, Danilovic, Thomas, and Austin. The Jazz with Anderson, Malone, Morris, Keefe, and Stockton. And welcome to the NBA, Shandon Anderson, the brother of Willie Anderson.
Yeah, and has surprised a lot of people, Eric, with his play. Asked assistant coach Gordy Chiesa what NBA player he reminded him of. He said Michael Finley of Phoenix.
Hardaway's missed 3, taken down by the mailman. Here comes
Stockton.
Stockton did not score in the first. Neither did Jeff Hornacek. Malone too heavy, but it's tipped back out by Adam Keefe.
Utah's bench has served them very well this season, Eric. Has gotten them back in games. Has seldom cost them.
And we get a foul inside against the Heat as Malone dove down the lane. And it is against Kurt Thomas, his second.
His second, team's first.
And Kurt will come out. Zoe is back.
There you see John Stockton, so skilled with the ball. Looked like Thomas had a pretty good ball. He's shaking his head in disbelief right now at that call.
You talk about it. We talked about Utah with all those second-round picks as Gary Grant comes on. And Tim Hardaway will get his first rest of the night. Keefe sits down. Greg Foster is back. We mentioned the 6 second-round picks for Utah, but even their marquee players. Karl Malone drafted 13th in '85. John Stockton 13th in '84. They have done remarkably well with their draft picks.
Oh, they've done just great, Eric. There's no question about it. Again, give Scott Layden, Frank Layden's son, the director of player personnel, give him mammoth credit for these choices.
Utah by 6, and now the best. Miami by 6. The best of buddies go at it, and Ike Austin scores on the mailman.
Ike has the benefit of getting single coverage. He's still something of a secret in the NBA. Shandon Anderson trying to get post position, can't do it.
Lob from Malone on the fade for 2. Karl Malone, 8 points. He averages nearly 26. That's Miami by 6. 2 minutes into the second quarter. Morris took it away from Danilovic and leads Malone, who reaches out, makes the grab. Grant knocked it away. John Stockton wants it back, but Chris Morris looking low for Malone, and we get a foul on Gary Grant, who was caught holding.
Foul number 23, Gary Grant is
Good foul taking that time. You see Tim Hardaway not wanting to sit down with that potentially aching back, so stretches out and waits. Good play at the defensive end.
Sean Leonard fronting Shandon Anderson and broke it up. Both clubs with 4 turnovers. 9:40 left in the first half. Miami with a 6-point lead. Zoe hangs on to it, draws a double team, and Morris nearly had his second steal in a row, but Miami will keep with 9 on the shot clock. You may remember Chris Morris in his early days with the New Jersey Nets. The number 4 pick back in the '88 draft, spent his first 5 years as a Net and was signed as a free agent by Utah. And his minutes are subsiding. Shandon Anderson taking a lot of Chris Morris's minutes away. Zoe came up short. And Stockton hitting ahead for the rookie Anderson. What a spin. Rubbed out by Zoe, but an offensive foul. Danilovic drew it well.
Sasha is doing an outstanding defensive job. First against Jeff Hornacek, and now against anybody else who comes his way.
Gary Grant, he has memories from a playoff series a couple of years ago back in '91 against Utah when he played for the LA Clippers, went 5 games. Utah winning in 5 games. A lot of folks remember how good the Clippers were in '90 and '91 under Larry Brown.
Yes, Larry Brown got that team going. Unfortunately, things didn't work out. Unfortunately for the Clippers, things didn't work out there.
Gary Grant stops, pops, and hits.
Good play. John Stockton tried to pop that ball from behind. Almost succeeded, but Grant got control, got the shot, knocked it down.
Grant, the 7th Heat player to score tonight. Morris rubbed out by Zoe. And out of bounds over to Miami.
Oh, what a play, Alonzo Mourning. Weak side help. The key to Pat Riley's team defense. Watch this play, folks.
He replaces Sasha Danilovic.
John Stockton throws over the top. That would seem to be an easy one. But Zoe from behind.
Alonzo Mourning, 4th best shot blocker in the NBA this year. Now the Heat doing well out of the backcourt. Can Marley now in. Danilovic goes out. Austin gets to the goal. Mourning on the tip.
Well, Karl Malone is learning tonight this is not the same Ike Austin he used to know.
Well, the tip credited to Ike Austin. Quick job of leaping back. So Austin with 6, Miami by 10 again. Anderson. Oh, Mourning gobbled that shot up, but the aggressive Heat defense called for another foul. And this one is on Vashawn Leonard. 3rd against Miami in the quarter, the 1st on V. Vashawn Leonard, Jack, came off the bench, played the entire 4th quarter the other night against Indiana, had 16 of his 18 in the 4th on 6 of 7 shooting.
Well, he had an inspirational performance, Eric. Just got into the flow of the game. He's a great stroker. He can really shoot the ball if he can just relax in the normal game situation and let it happen for him. He can give this Miami team a big lift.
And with the increased minutes, a little bit more consistency out of Leonard. Last 5 games, Vashawn averaging 8 points in 21 minutes of action. Leonard for 3. Oh, yes. Right on cue, V.
Yeah, and great ball movement by the Miami Heat. That time, Vashawn had time to set, square up, knock down the big 3-pointer.
And the Heat have matched their largest lead of the night with 7:39 left here in the second quarter. It's the Heat by a dozen. Underneath, Ike Austin called for his 2nd foul. 4th team foul on the Heat. 1 more, and Utah will be in the bonus situation.
Eric, the Heat has done a magnificent job on both Hornacek and John Stockton.
Combined, they're 0 for 6, scoreless. Stockton to Malone.
Oof.
Nice pass for the Morris stuff.
Oh, that's Karl Malone. I said earlier, great passer for a big man, sees the floor very well, and with the defense clustered around him, he got Chris Morris at the hoop for the stuffer.
Well, when Karl Malone has the ball, he will mesmerize the defense, and he'll find open people. Marley's pass for Mourning knocked out of bounds. 9 on the shot clock as the Heat will inbound, leading 35-25. The coach wants to talk about it. So Pat Riley hoped his team would get back to their rock-hard, tenacious defense, and they have. So far, Utah shooting 36% in this game.
Heat by 10 that time remaining in the second. Vashawn Leonard got the ball swung to him. Eyes the target. Bottom of the net for Vashawn from three-point land. Then in transition defense, he and Shandon Anderson exchange friendly greetings. Typical of the holiday season.
Little bumper car action here in Miami. Vashawn Leonard off the bench, right into your scorebook. And you could come up big in the holidays if you order your 12-game ticket plan. The Heat gift pack, a perfect holiday gift, features games against the Lakers, Magic, and Knicks. 12 games for as little as $180. Operators are standing by for your holiday gift pack ticket orders. Air ball from Marley. Utah comes back with just under 7 minutes left in the half. Chris Morris missing short. Marley on the outlet for Grant. Jack, number of your keys coming true. Malone and Stockton have been held under control. The Heat getting to the free throw line and getting fast breaks.
Yes, fast break basketball against a team that is so strong in half-court defense, Eric, is a key, a big key for the Heat. They outscore the Jazz 8-0 in fast breaks at this point.
And Utah with 25 points on the board, and we're 6.5 minutes away from the half. Karl Malone whirls in and fouled by Ike Austin. Funny thing, those guys were scheduled to go on a fishing trip yesterday afternoon, Ike and Karl, but Utah scheduled a late practice, and there went the fishing trip.
Yeah, Malone's an avid fisherman, Eric. Loves to fish anywhere he goes. He used to come to Portland and go out to the coast, go salmon fishing out there.
Ooh. One of our favorite dishes.
Oh.
Salmon, hello.
I tried to get Karl. If you catch any good ones, Karl, drop them off at my house.
Funny how I never seem to get salmon on the dinner plate at home, but on the road, right up on the top of the list.
I'll take a look at the keys, Eric. All of them coming true at this point. But the game is young yet. A lot more basketball to be played.
Karl Malone, 4 of 4 at the line in double figures with 10 points for Utah. He's their top gun. Danilovic and Hardaway 7 apiece for Miami. Heat lead 35-27. Vashawn Leonard on the drive, threw it behind Alonzo, and the Heat turn it over for the 5th time.
Now Vashawn had the shot. Too conscious of trying to get the ball to Zoe. He could have had a little runner right in the middle of the lane.
P.J. Brown back in for the Heat, sitting down Ike Austin, who leads the game with 6 points and 3 fouls. Chris Morris. Nice pass for Stockton.
That's a great play.
Well done.
Now that's the Utah play that everyone copies. Rub off the guard, back kick the forward, and take whatever comes.
Jazz trailed by as much as 12. Now they're within 6. Zoe got the lefty hook up, but Karl Malone with a very forceful rebound, his 5th of the night. Stockton leans in on Gary Grant, finds Morris, came up short, good defense by Zoe, and Morris right in Mourning's face picks up the foul. First on Chris, first team foul on Utah in this second quarter. Tim Hardaway comes back, and so does Sasha Danilovic. Vashawn Leonard and Gary Grant go to the bench. Well, the Heat back to their starting group.
Pat Riley got some good minutes out of reserves, Grant and Leonard. Now he wants to finish the half with his first unit.
11 points from Miami's bench, 6 from Austin, 3 from Leonard, 2 from Grant. P.J. Brown, little bump and grind. The hook bounces out, and Shandon Anderson covers it up. John Stockton, head on a swivel. Mailman pointing out directions. One-on-one against P.J. Brown. There's the turn. Bounces off to Zoe. 8 rebounds in the first half for Zoe. 4:45 left here in the second quarter. Heat lead by 6. Mourning against Foster. Got fouled again. Alonzo Mourning. A lot of trouble when he can face the hoop and drive.
From 15 feet, Eric, he's as good as there is in the NBA. Squaring up on his man. If they play him too loose, Zoe can knock down that jumper. If they play up on him where Foster is, you know he can beat Greg Foster.
Foul charge to Shandon Anderson, his first, actually his second of the night. And it rolls off for Zoe.
Anderson just flew across the screen there, folks, but I think he had a chance to see how quickly he got in the air. The Jazz is delighted with his performance so far in his rookie year. Number 40, Shandon Anderson. Remember that name.
Well, even better than they thought, and they're the team that drafted him, but they discovered he can defend 1s, 2s, and 3s. As a matter of fact, he did a great job as Morris is denied by Mourning underneath, and from the left sideline, Paul Mihalik has a foul. And that's bad news for the Heat. It's on Alonzo Mourning, and that's his third.
Number 33, Alonzo Mourning.
Let's take a look at that play. Ball passed over the top to Chris Morris. Here comes Zoe. Does he hit him? I think so. Yes, across the arm. A late call by Paul Mihalik, but apparently the proper one. There's the pass over the top. Zoe
I think
goes
it's
in the air.
the left hand pushing Morris on the back. I think that's what Mihalik saw and called.
Well, he also got him on the wrist, Eric, as he shot the ball. As he released the shot, Zoe got him right across the arms.
So Zoe comes out, and Kurt Thomas comes back. Finish the point on Shandon Anderson. They discovered that he could defend Gary Payton, and it helped key a pair of Utah wins against Seattle this year. So Shandon Anderson, more well-rounded than his older brother Willie, who preceded him at Georgia and in the NBA.
Now, this kid has a chance, Eric, to become. Whoa, that ball just about caught iron by Chris Morris. Heat offense has sagged just a tad here. Pat Riley wants to get a good hoop.
Miami has scored just 10 points here in the second quarter. Their lead is 6.
Post Hardaway against John Stockton. Timmy can get him.
Timmy gets there.
That's goaltend.
Yeah, and a foolish goaltend because that ball really not en route to a score. Greg Foster took a swipe at it, and Tim Hardaway comes up with his 9th point.
Tim Hardaway, we've commented before what a tough guy he is to defend at the low post, even when he's defended by players 2 or 3 inches taller than he. Hardaway barely a 6-foot player at the post, or anywhere else for that matter.
Karl Malone rolls in another. The mailman on the hook.
Soft touch by Karl Malone.
He now has a dozen to go with 6 rebounds. Miami's lead is 6. You see the time left here in the first half. Again, Hardaway in that crouch, backing in, now comes out. In the Thomas, great spot, but Kurt short, and Stockton runs it down. You can see Kurt just not quite in sync yet. Thomas defending Malone, and it comes. And down goes Karl. Here comes Timmy. Ahead for Sasha. Nice catch on the run. No foul. And play goes on. Loose ball taken by Greg Foster. And Malone was basket hanging, but the Heat get back. 3 minutes left in the half. Karl too deep and got stuffed by the backboard. Here comes Timmy. And the Heat missing some point-blank chances.
Yeah, getting great opportunities, Eric. Both teams on the run can't finish.
Low-scoring first half, but hotly contested, tightly played. Stockton comes baseline and knew he was going to draw that foul. Sasha Danilovic with his first. And the Heat are over the limit. John Stockton will go to the line with his 2 points and 4 assists when we come back following Jerry Sloan's timeout.
There's your score and time. A back and forth game with the Heat on top by 6. Welcome back to the arena. I'm Dave Lamont, and my guest at halftime will be longtime Utah Jazz broadcaster and a legend both on and off the court in his NBA and college days. Hot Rod Hundley will join us. Plus, we'll take you out of town to our Gatorade scoreboard on our Hydron halftime report. That will feature, of course, Eric and Jack's look at the first half right now with Miami in front, 38-32. Tim Hardaway is playing. He has 9 points. Gentlemen.
There's Hot Rod Hundley, the longtime play-by-play voice of the Utah Jazz, sitting next to former Jazz guard Ron Boone. You remember Hot Rod, I'm sure, in his playing days out of West Virginia.
Oh, Hot Rod was a legend there, Eric. A great player. When someone said, who is the second best guard that ever played at West Virginia, remembering that Jerry West was one of his players, Hot Rod promptly replied, I think Jerry West was.
John Stockton to the line for 2. John Stockton, the NBA's all-time leader in assists and steals. All-time. He's led the league in assists 9 years in a row, but currently trails and is number 2 in the NBA in assists this year. And misses 1 of 2 free throws. 87% on the year. He does not miss often.
See what the Heat can do here, Eric. They need a little pop of offense to get something going. This is a good opportunity right there.
Beautiful feed by Hardaway, and Kurt Thomas rammed it home.
Well-executed play by the Heat. Usually when the Heat comes out of the huddle, Pat Riley gives them a play that's very effective.
Well, first score for Kurt Thomas since coming back here in his second game after sitting out 14 with the ankle surgery. Malone misses close. Heat lead by 7 with 2 minutes left here in the first half. Tim Hardaway, 9 points, 5 assists.
Screen and roll for Hardaway.
Everybody wondering, would Tim Hardaway play? I was wondering, how well would he play? Thomas in the lane against Keith. Stockton knocked it free. 2 to shoot. Sasha pulls the trigger. Wide to the right, and that is a shot clock violation on Miami. Minute 36 left in the half.
Let's watch this play. There's the pass to Hardaway, and Hardaway to Thomas down the lane.
John Stockton, 3 points, 4 assists in his first half. And as Malone came down the lane, P.J. Brown whistled for the foul. It is so very difficult to defend this hard body, soft shooting, vintage power forward. I mean, you see that mold, they broke it after Karl Malone.
Well, what happens here, Eric, is that the Jazz set a back pick for Karl Malone. The guard who goes down, in this case it was Shandon Anderson, comes up and back picks Malone's man. And then Karl just bulldozes his way off that screen to get to the basket. Virtually impossible to stop that play from functioning. Pat Riley is talking with referee Joe Borgia about it at the sideline.
By the way, Karl Malone and P.J. Brown, both alums of Louisiana Tech.
Pat Riley gives his team the offensive play that he wants at the other end, sending the 2-guard and the small forward along the baseline to come off the big man screens. Here they come.
Karl Malone, only player in double figures in this game tonight. He has 13. Miami led by Tim Hardaway's 9. Danilovic finds Dan Marley, who has just 3 points in this one. Marley against Hornacek. Threw up a wild one, and it bricks off to Adam Keefe. Dan Marley now 1 for 4. Not in sync. Hornacek on the drive and score. Jeff Hornacek into the book for the first time tonight on his 5th shot. And Pat Riley wants a 20-second timeout with under a minute left in the second quarter. Want to remind you the tickets are available for this year's Outback Bowl, which features Michigan and Alabama New Year's Day in Tampa. Call your local Ticketmaster for your seats to the Outback Bowl. And don't forget, the Heat hit the road. A little Texas two-step beginning Saturday night at the Summit in Houston. We'll have that for you at 8:30 on UPN 33. Then Monday night at 8:30, the Heat and the Spurs from San Antonio. Both games on UPN 33. Hope you'll be with us as the Heat do the Texas two-step.
The Jazz has really tightened the screws of their defense ever since the Heat broke out to that 12-point early game lead. Miami in the second period shooting only 29%.
Miami leads by 4. They have led by as much as 12. Thomas denied by Adam Keefe, but fouled inside, so the play run well. And the foul underneath is on the 26-year-old Adam Keefe.
Again, that's a play that the Heat runs with fair degree of frequency. High screen, Thomas slicing to the lane. The ball gets swung to a perimeter player up top, in that case Marley, and then into Thomas in the lane. They get a lot of mileage out of that sequence.
Now, Utah has shot 18 free throws in this half, made 12. Miami right now 7 of 10 at the line. Karl Malone by himself has been there 6 times. And Kurt Thomas off the bench tonight with 4. Miami leads by 6. Stockton fires. Kaboom. John Stockton. He didn't score in the first quarter. He has 5 points here in the second. We got a tight one going in Miami tonight. Thomas against Keefe. Could not get it to drop, and Karl Malone brings down his 7th rebound. Lonzo Mourning, the top rebounder tonight with 8.
Stockton will hold for 1. He'll get a high screen, I would think, from Malone. There's Malone.
Here comes John out to Shandon Anderson. Does not get the shot off, and the first half ends with a Heat defensive stop. Keep in mind, when Alonzo Mourning sat down with his 3rd personal, the Heat led by 7. They're able to hold on to the lead, and they will troop behind Tim Hardaway to the halftime dressing room, ahead of Utah by 4. Cold wind blowing outside in South Florida, but it is heating up with NBA basketball inside the Heat's house. Good crowd at Miami Arena tonight. The holiday spirit abounds, and so does quality NBA defense. Welcome back. Eric Reed with Hall of Fame coach Dr. Jack Ramsay, one of the NBA's top 10 coaches in history, and coach 2 defenses really going to work. Both clubs under 40% in that first half offensively. 2 hardworking defensive groups.
Yes, the Heat got pretty much what it wanted in the first half, Eric. They had 8 fast break points. They were dominating the board. They were getting good post positions for Mourning or anybody else, P.J. Brown, Kurt Thomas. But in the second period, everything seemed to come to a halt. The Jazz did not give a fast break field goal to the Heat in the second period, and the shooting percentage went way down. 6 for 22 is what the Heat shot in the second period. So I'm sure Pat Riley is concerned about this slackening off of the offense, and it must be rebuilt if they're going to win this game, because the Jazz just wear you down. They play a similar kind of defense as the Heat and rely on that to get them the wins.
Did not help Miami that Alonzo Mourning picked up his 3rd foul, and the Heat were looking good and leading by 7. If you're just joining us, you must be wondering, is Tim Hardaway playing, and how well is he playing? Well, the answer, yes, and pretty darn well. Tim Hardaway working through the back spasms, and as you'll see as we roll our Outback Steakhouse halftime highlight reel, Timmy has got it going on. 9 points, 5 first half assists.
Well, watch Hardaway. He gets a seam in the defense, a little leapfrog move, and spins that one off the glass. And then in the open court, who's better than Tim Hardaway? Watch this dish to Sasha Danilovic on the right wing. Danilovic gets the field goal and also drew the foul on that play. But the Jazz is a resilient group, and this guy, Karl Malone, is one of the best. He's going to spin baseline now, folks. Taking it to the middle, showing you the shoulder, and then fading. You notice the perfect form and rotation of that shot. They also got some penetrations There's a ball inside. Jeff Hornacek apparently gets stopped. Out to Isley, over to Antoine Carr, another big body who can knock it down from 15 feet. So the Jazz hanging around in this game, trail by only 4, where earlier on the Heat had built a 12-point lead.
Well, we were talking about both teams under 40% from the field. You see it in numbers. Neither club shooting well from three-point land, both with 6 turnovers, and the Heat 7 more boards.
Boards are significant, Eric. The Heat must dominate the board and get to the free throw line more often. But it's a tough job when Karl Malone draws fouls so frequently as he does when he gets the ball at the low post.
And let's take a look at your individual leaders in the point department. Karl Malone with 13. Antoine Carr off the bench with 6. For Miami, Tim Hardaway with 9. Sasha Danilovic made all 3 of his shots en route to 7. He also had 3 blocked shots, believe it or not. Ike Austin and Alonzo Mourning with 6 points apiece. And when you look at the leading rebounders, Alonzo Mourning with 8 for Miami and Karl Malone with 7 rebounds for Utah. Well, fans, you can catch the next Miami Heat road rally at Playoff Sports Grill in Fort Lauderdale this Saturday night at 8 p.m. Watch the Heat as they take on the Rockets from the Summit in Houston. Meet the Heat dancers, win Heat tickets and other great prizes. For more information, call the Heat at 305-577-4328 and extension 5216. Hope you're at the Heat Road Rally enjoying the Heat and Rockets Saturday night on UPN 33.
Pat Riley wants to get this offense going, Eric. As I said, one big factor is going to be more shooting opportunities for Alonzo Mourning. Zoe has only had 5 shots in the game so far, made 1 of those, and he needs more opportunities and more production, obviously.
The Heat with a record of 18-6. They have a game-and-a-half lead over Idle New York in the Atlantic Division. Utah is 18-4. And they are second in the Midwest, 2 games behind the Houston Rockets. They do have the NBA's 4th best record, and earlier this year had a 15-game winning streak, which included wins against Chicago, Seattle, and the Lakers twice. And there's a steal by Stockton as you looked at our leaders, brought to you by Publix Supermarkets. And the clubs trade turnovers in the first 30 seconds of this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, 2 basic violations in ball handling, Eric. You don't see it often from the Utah Jazz.
Mourning right at Ostertag, missed the lefty hook. Ostertag picked up 2 fouls. First quarter, we did not see him again. Miami leads by 4 as we get it going here in the second half. Delighted to have you with us. Pre-holiday NBA hoops. 2 top quality clubs tonight. Danilovic broke it up. Marley with a steal. Ahead for Hardaway. Ryan Russell in his path. Tim Hardaway by Stockton over Ostertag, but did not drop. Misses and turnovers here in the 3rd quarter for both groups. Kicked out of bounds by Danilovic. Reset the shot clock to 24. Sasha Danilovic, 3 blocked shots in the first half.
Yeah, Slosser defended extremely well. Eric did a nice job on Hornacek to keep his game under control. Jeff Hornacek can be a thorn in your side too. He can shoot it from outside, can post you up.
Only 2 points for Hornacek, 1 for 5 from the field in the first half. Karl Malone against P.J. Brown. And made it a tough shot, but Malone has been on target. 5 for 11 in the game, 15 points. And Miami's lead has been whittled to 2. Zoe against Ostertag to the middle. Out to Sasha. Long deuce. And bouncing right to Jeff Hornacek. And asked for a better look than Danilovic just got.
Just have to knock down shots, Eric.
Malone setting up on the block and out of bounds off P.J. Brown.
Both coaches disdain the double team for the most part on their post guys. Pat Riley doesn't want to give up threes, and I think Jerry Sloan is of the same philosophy. But when you have Malone
Oh, Danilovic's defense continues. That was an awfully difficult shot Hornacek threw up there. He's missed 5 of 6, and number 5 has had a whole lot to do with it.
He certainly has. He's been right in his path whenever Hornacek wants to shoot it.
Good crowd behind the home team tonight here in Miami. Sasha rescued a soft pass. Hardaway, nice catch by Dan Marley. Knocked out of bounds by Karl Malone.
6 on the shot clock.
6 seconds on the shot clock. 6 seconds to shoot.
Both teams defending very well in the basket area. Need it.
Hardaway gets to the lane with a left. Bounces off. Well, basket's really been hard to come by. Heat have not scored yet in the third. Utah with just 2 points. Nice lob into Karl Malone. And I think Alonzo Mourning is going to be hit with his 4th foul of this game.
Yep.
Yes. Jack, the Heat always front the postman, play in front of that low post offensive player. Utah, very good passing team, and they have been able to deliver the ball pretty well in there.
They've gotten the ball over the top. It hasn't been completed with great success, Eric, because of the presence of the weak side defender. But Zoe has picked up 2 of his 4 fouls in that way, coming from the weak side to stop the shooter.
Now, foul problems have been Alonzo's biggest problems this year. Malone powering it up, and now P.J. Brown called for the foul, so P.J. picks up his second, actually his 3rd foul. And the second team foul on the Heat here in the 3rd quarter.
On that play, Malone got a cross screen, received the ball in the paint. Watch the cross screen being set there by Hornacek. When you get your postman the ball that close to the basket, you can't win that battle.
Karl Malone, first team All-NBA, 8 straight years. Twice an Olympian, 9 times an All-Star.
Eric, when he first came in the league, he was an atrocious free throw shooter. And then each year he would get a little better until now he is at least a 70% shooter from the line.
And Jack is true of all great ones, always building on their game.
Oh, yes. No, this guy has made himself great physical tools, certainly, but he's made himself a great player.
Now, this is the first time the game has been tied since it was 12-all back in the 1st quarter. Danilovic guarded by Hornacek. On the spin. And Greg Ostertag on the outlet to Stockton. Utah looks for the lead. Stockton intercepted by Danilovic. Hornacek got it back. If Hornacek was a part of the Phoenix-Philadelphia trade with Barkley, spent an unhappy half a season in Philadelphia, and then was sent over to the Utah Jazz in a trade that involved one-time Heat guard Jeff Malone. I'll tell you what, Hornacek, a man that is delighted to be out of Philly at that time and with this Utah club.
Yeah, well, he's made to order for this team, Eric. A guy who can make the jump shot. When Karl Malone gets double-teamed, he's an eager recipient of the pass.
Ostertag just hit with his 3rd foul. Hardaway left Stockton in the dust, but could not hit the reverse. Miami has missed their last 9 shots. The Heat now shooting 34%, but we are tied at 42. Malone on a rainbow. And 2 more for Karl Malone. He has all 6 Utah points here in the 3rd quarter. And Utah has its first lead since it was 8-7 in the early moments. A timeout for Pat Riley. 19 for Karl Malone. Tim Hardaway and company down by 2.
You're watching Miami Heat basketball on Sunshine Network. Brought to you in part by AirTouch Paging, the official pager of Sunshine Network. Call 1-800-6-AirTouch for information. By Discount Auto Parts. Go with the pros you know at Discount Auto Parts. By Publix Supermarkets, where shopping is a pleasure. And by Mobile Friendly Serve, the fast and friendly fuel up. Mobile, how can we help you?
With Dave Lamont and Hall of Fame coach Jack Ramsey, I'm Eric Reed. Welcome back to Miami Arena. Karl Malone has all 6 points for Utah here in the 3rd. Miami has missed its first 6 shots of the second half. Zoe sitting down with 4 fouls. Here's Marley. And it bounces off for Dan. He's 1 for 5. The Heat starting front court. Mourning, Brown, and Marley combined are 3 of 14 from the field. Brown knocked it away. Hardaway behind his back and on his way. And threw it away.
Oh, John Stockton never gave up on the play.
Hornacek for Malone. Stuff City.
Great ball handling by the Jazz, and the Heat had a fast break opportunity that they squandered.
8-0 Utah here in the third quarter. Karl Malone with all 8 of those points. Utah by 4. He'd have got to get the offense going. Sasha back to Ike. Turns his back on Ostertag. Swings in, then out with Hardaway. The runner right there.
Well, they need something from somebody, and maybe Tim Hardaway is a man. The Heat is now 7 for 29 in the second and third periods, Eric.
That took Miami 5 minutes for the second half to get their first score. Stockton comes through. Beautiful feed to Ostertag, who is called for traveling. Now, both teams have had their offensive droughts, and this is the one Jack was just referring to. Miami still right in the thick of it against the Utah Jazz, who have the NBA's 4th best record at 18-4. This is a Utah club that battled Seattle 7 games in the Western Conference Finals last spring. And the window of opportunity for this aging Jazz club, believe me, still wide open. Here's Sasha for 3. Miami not there from three-point land. 2 of 10 behind the arc. And Tim Hardaway called for his first foul of the night.
Let's watch this fast break execution by the Utah Jazz. Stockton to Hornacek, 2 touch passes. And Karl Malone with the stuffer.
Karl Malone has 21 for Utah. Miami's top scorer is Tim Hardaway with only 11. This is Hornacek on his drive. Short. Danilovic with a rebound. Hornacek now 1 of 7. Sasha rolls it in over Karl Malone.
Another great look by Hardaway, who has engineered both scoring plays for the Heat in this period. Score himself on the penetration. A good dish to Sasha for the score.
9 for Sasha, 6 assists for Hardaway. Tie game at 46. And a terrific game here in Miami tonight. Hope you're enjoying it with us. Malone, book it. Bottoms up for Karl, who is on fire. 10 third quarter points and 23 with 9 rebounds on the night.
He just keeps at you, Eric. Just wears you down. Gets great position. And it's inevitable that he's going to get some good shots.
A sledgehammer body and a feathery touch. P.J. Brown straight away knocked it down.
Good look by Dan Marley as P.J. got to within his shooting range. Maybe that will open up the offense a little bit.
4 points for Brown, even at 48. John Stockton, 5 points, 4 assists tonight over Austin. Air ball. Who's going to get it? Dan Marley. Hitting ahead for Hardaway. Under 5 minutes left, third quarter. This game just racing by. Dan Marley posting with Stockton. Draws a double. Timmy for 3. Ike on the tip. Marley on the follow.
That'll help, Eric. Second chance points are always big. Heat now seem to have a little life into the offense and a 2-point lead. 5
points, 6 rebounds for Thunder Dan. 4:25 left in the third. You hear the crowd chanting defense. And we get a foul on the Brian Russell drive.
Let's go back and look at Hardaway. That jumper falls off. Marley right there. Ike Austin kept that ball alive with a swipe at it. And then Marley with the finish.
Brian Russell was fouled by Ike Austin. So Austin and Mourning each with 4 personal fouls. Brian Russell, he averaged 3 points a year ago, but having his best season by far this year, averaging just under 10 points a game. And you talk about an improved player. This guy made 29 three-pointers in his first 3 seasons. He has 25 in 22 games this year. So much improved perimeter scorer is Brian Russell.
Really worked at his game over the summer, Eric. He was with the Utah rookies in that Rocky Mountain competition they had out there that I observed this summer, hoping that he could bring about some consistency in his offensive game in particular.
And he's taken over that small forward position from David Benoit, who is on the injured list for the Nets this year. Danilovic coming baseline, cut off, and his pass knocked away and stolen by Karl Malone. 8 turnovers for Miami, a ball game that is even at 50 with just under 4 minutes left. Howard Eisley running the point for John Stockton. Eisley plays about 12 minutes a game. Karl Malone. He wants it back. He's got 23. Beautiful feed for Eisley. He rolls it in over the outstretched arms of P.J. Brown. And now they get a timeout on the floor. They want to mop up the floor. Paul Mihalik signaling for the break in the action. Malone to Eisley for the score. 3:40 left in the third. Utah by 2. These clubs have really battled tonight. And on the crossover, Eisley commits the foul. His first foul of the night, and the first team foul here in the quarter for Utah.
Howard Eisley does a nice job backing up for Stockton. As you mentioned, Eric plays about 12 minutes a game, doesn't make many mistakes with the ball. Not a scorer, but he just keeps the tempo going for his team.
Lob for Sasha. On the drive against Hornacek. Nice spin move. Oh, nice play.
Sasha. Hornacek closed him off as he drove to the baseline. Sasha came back middle and banked it off the glass.
Looking like a spin doctor tonight with that pivot move off the dribble. Sasha has been sharp on the offensive end with 11. And again, this game knotted up at 52 right now. 3 minutes left, third period.
Jazz will try and get Malone at the post again.
This is Hornacek. Almost lost it. Brian Russell. Way off on the 3. Keith with the rebound. 3 to shoot. Eisley does. And Malone runs it down and saves it off the body of P.J. Brown. P.J. claiming that Malone was already out of bounds right in front of Utah's bench. Timeout, Jazz. Miami Arena turning into a pressure cooker. The heat is on, and so is Sasha.
Each contestant must complete 10 full turns in half court. At the completion of the 10 turns, a heat dancer will handle all the contested.
Nice crowd here in Miami. A better ball game, tied at 52. We've already had 5 ties, 3 lead changes in this quarter. Let's go courtside. Dave Lamont. He's standing by with one of our favorite local sports heroes out of Miami Edison High School, University of Florida, and Miami Dolphins, Nat Moore.
Well, thank you, Eric. And Nat, before we ask your unbiased opinion on the Sugar Bowl, what do you think of this game here?
Well, I think we are being entertained thoroughly. Utah comes in here. They've got 2 great players in John Stockton and Karl Malone, but so far the Heats have stood true to the test.
Now your unbiased pick in the Sugar Bowl.
Oh, it can't be anything but the Gators. I mean, you know, they got lucky in Tallahassee playing at home, and they still, you know, I mean, except for a couple drop balls, Florida still would have won the ball game. So playing in the Sugar Bowl, give me the Gators.
As I guessed, Eric, an objective analysis of that game.
Well, our producer, director Jim Dussel loves it. Karl Malone from the edges, bottoms up again for the mailman. Boy, has he been hot or what?
He just played. This is not unusual for Karl Malone.
He has 25-12 here in the third quarter. So Utah in front by 2. Hardaway in the paint. Out to Austin. Got it.
Good jump shot.
Ike Austin with 8.
Basket. Excellent form. Good penetration from Tim Hardaway. Still tied at 54.
And the Heat have played most of the third with Alonzo Mourning on the bench after picking up his 4th foul in the first 3 minutes of this quarter. Karl Malone, this one kicks out and bounces to Hornacek for 3. No. Hornacek is 1 for 8, and how about the hustle for Malone? Running down his 11th rebound of this game.
The Heat was owning second chance opportunities early on when they had the lead. Jazz now taking over in that department.
Eisley lost it to Danilovic. Tied game at 54. Here's Sasha. Cut off by Adam Keefe. Good help out defense for the former lottery pick of the Atlanta Hawks.
Hardaway to the post.
Shot clock.
Single coverage, Eric. He should take him.
There's the shot clock. Hardaway on the force. Bounces off, but he was fouled.
Yeah, good hitch in his move that time by Tim Hardaway. Shot clock winding down to about 3 as I saw it when he unloaded that shot. But he made sure he got fouled. by Isley.
Tim Hardaway, when we saw him at practice yesterday, he was still walking with a bit of a limp. If the game was to be played last night, he would not have been able to go. But 2 days of stretching, massage work, all sorts of therapy got him ready to go. Kurt Thomas in. Isaac Austin to the bench with 8 points tonight. Ike also with 4 rebounds.
Eric, what's helped the Heat in this period are 6 Utah turnovers. And the Heat has not shot it well. The Jazz has struggled. Karl Malone has taken almost half their shots in this game.
And Malone has 25, Jack. After him, the next best scorer, Antoine Carr, with 6.
Yep.
Tim Hardaway leads Miami with 12. Here's a lob to the mailman, knocked out of bounds by P.J. Brown.
That's a good illustration of excellent weak side help. A cornerstone of Karl Malone defense.
We were just referring to it.
23% by the rest of the guys. Malone 60.
Our guys in the broadcast caboose really on top of it. Jim Dussel, Paul Newman, and the rest. P.J. Brown on the rebound. Miami with a 1-point lead. Final minute, 3rd quarter. Thomas wants it in the post against Adam Keefe. Matt Riley has a set play call. High pick and roll. Thomas sets the screen. Hardaway back to Kurt and stripped by Karl Malone. Here comes Howard Isley. Hornacek to Russell. And out of bounds. Intended for the mailman. Instead, Utah's 13th turnover.
Yeah, unforced turnover that time. The usually reliable Byron Russell.
Dan Marley's pass deflected. Dan Marley just not playing like himself tonight. And a blocking foul on Danilovic. He tried to throw a detour in front of Brian Russell. Dan Marley has played 33 minutes tonight. He has 5 points, 6 rebounds, but just does not appear to be having his type of night.
Well, he's not 100%, Eric.
I know
he's got an achy back himself.
Yes, he has been sore the last few days. And how about that collision?
Yep. Sasha just a half-step slide away from drawing a charge on that play.
Sean Leonard comes back. First appearance in the second half for Vashon. And he will sit down P.J. Brown with 4 points and 6 rebounds. Now Shandon Anderson comes back. And Karl Malone will get a breather with 25 points and 11 rebounds.
Pat Riley came in with his shooters for this last shot. 20.5 seconds left in this game. So Jerry Sloan responds with defenders for Riley's shooters. A little chess match going on between the 2 coaches.
And 2 very, very good coaches.
Going to get isolation. Now screen and roll. Marley and Hardaway.
Timmy to the paint, and he was fouled. With 3.5 seconds left here in the 3rd. Shandon Anderson picks up his 3rd foul. Shandon's a young guy. He will turn 23 years old the end of this month, December the 31st. The 54th pick in last year's draft. He has been a pleasant surprise, and Utah assistant Gordon Chiesa said he has been uplifting to our team.
And he'll only get better, Eric.
Of course, Gordy Chiesa was on that Providence College coaching staff when Rick Pitino took the Friars to the Final Four in '87. Also on that staff, a young guy by the name of Jeff Van Gundy, who is now the head coach of the Knicks.
Yep. Spawning ground for coaches under Rick Pitino.
Of course, Gordon Chiesa, one of the most quotable unknown coaches in the land. He's the guy that came up with mother-in-law defense, which means constant pressure and harassment. Utah looking for the last shot. They don't get it. And Leonard called for traveling, and they may put a couple of tenths back on the clock.
I think he got fouled. Let's see if Joe Borgia calls a foul.
No, they're going to put 4/10 of a second back on the clock and give the ball to Utah.
Oh, now, you know what this is? This is enough time to catch and shoot. 4/10 of a second.
4/10 of a second.
Oh, I thought a foul occurred before the walk. The Jazz is going to have a chance. for a quick catch and shoot.
Stockton brought back in for this. This is Keith. There's the catch. There's the shot, and it is short. And quite a fourth quarter ahead. Miami 16-2 on the year with a lead through 3 quarters. But this is a slim lead. We'll be back for the fourth with the Heat ahead by 1. Welcome back to Miami. Top-notch battle tonight here at the arena. The Heat leading Utah 57-56. The kind of game you might have expected from 2 of the top 5 records in the NBA. The Jazz have the 4th best record at 18-4, and the Heat number 5 at 18-6. Yeah, the Heat after the 2-game Texas road trip back at home and back on Sunshine Network the day after Christmas against Ronnie Cycling and the Orlando Magic. Tip-off set for 8 with NBA Heat tonight beginning at 7:30 live on Sunshine. And your Sugar Bowl Sunshine Network package brought to you by Grande Journeys, offering a great travel package to the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. Sunshine Network charter leaves Orlando for New Orleans December 31st, returns January 3rd. Package includes airfare, 3 nights hotel, and Sugar Bowl tickets starting at $7.99 a person. Call the numbers you saw on your screen for more info. Here's your game summary. Mailman with 25. Tim Hardaway, 14 points, 7 assists. And Shandon Anderson opens the fourth quarter and puts Utah ahead by 1.
And you see the versatility of his game, going right to the post and scoring over Vashawn Leonard.
Isaac Austin out to Leonard. This is Hardaway. Mourning has been on the bench since picking up his 4th foul 3 minutes into the 3rd quarter. This is Austin from Timmy. Rimmed around and dropped.
Rim rattler by Ike Austin. Good dish by Hardaway. Jazz closing off the basket area to Hardaway's penetrations.
8 assists for Timmy. Ike Austin, 3rd Heat player to get to double figures. He has 10. This is Anderson, blocked by Vashawn Leonard. And broken up. And the Heat quickly give it back to Utah. 1 minute into the fourth quarter. 59-58 Miami. Off the hands of Kurt Thomas. A call Pat Riley does not agree with. Stockton to the lane. Lost it. Goes down and lost it again. A wild start to this fourth quarter.
I think John Stockton lost that ball, Eric, from my vantage point anyway. Pat Riley agreed, but Bill Spooner said no.
Stockton and Hornacek combined 3 of 14, just 7 points.
Again, Hardaway to the post.
Leonard might as well shoot that 3 if Anderson's going to play back that far. Into Austin against Ostertag. Yes!
Nice move. I got it deep. Nice turn right in Ostertag's face.
2 in a row for Sir Isaac Austin. Miami leads by 3. And Ike against his former club with 12 points on 6 of 8 shooting. Lob to Morris, going up, got fouled. Precise feed from John Stockton. And the foul charge to Kurt Thomas, his 3rd.
Take a look at Stockton. Before he can be defended tightly, he puts that pass over the top right where Chris Morris can catch and draw the foul.
Jack, interesting that Alonzo Mourning is still on Miami's bench.
Well, 4 fouls is not really that significant, Eric. I think Coach Riley wants to save him. 10 minutes now left in this game. I think it's time that the coach will bring him forth. But he's getting some good minutes from Mike Austin.
Zoe went out with 9:21 left in the 3rd quarter. And the Heat have done more than adequate job with Zoe sitting. Matter of fact, they still lead by 1. Just under 10 minutes left in this one. Miami leads by 1. Hardaway gets a screen from Thomas. And draws a foul. Tim Hardaway, deliberate. And Chris Morris picked up the foul, trying to help out John Stockton.
Stockton is telling Morris, don't foul him in that situation because we're forcing him into an awkward shot. And Chris Morris reluctantly agrees. Hard to argue with John Stockton, one of the smartest players in the league.
Tim Hardaway, 3 of 5 at the line tonight. Timmy, who's played 33 minutes, has 14 points, 8 assists. So the Heat lead by 2.
And Coach Riley tells Vachon, they're going right to your guy, Vachon.
Stockton on the spin. Leonard tipping. Leonard can't hold on. Oh, Utah got away with a loose ball foul there. Here's Stockton off the dribble for Antoine Carr. Rammed it through. Antoine Carr with 8 points. That's his first score since the first quarter, and it ties the game.
If there's any daylight, here comes Zoe. If there's any daylight that John Stockton can find, he gets it.
Leonard down the lane with a left. It rolled off. Kurt Thomas battling hard for 2.
Good hands by Kurt Thomas. That ball got hit as he took it to the basket on 2 occasions. Thomas had the presence and the strength to carry it right through.
What a war we have here in Miami tonight. Heat by 2, 8:46 left. Thomas pops out. Stockton finds Malone. Kurt Thomas with a rebound. Kurt Thomas with 8 rebounds off the Heat bench tonight. Hardaway on the spin. Hardaway!
Oh, my! Ho, ho, ho! Put that on your playoff reel, folks. What a spin move by Tim Hardaway.
Turn Dr.
Super
Jack
play.
into Santa. Ho, ho, ho. And a turnover on Utah. And this crowd in a frenzy.
Let's watch Tim Hardaway again. Look at this spin, John Stockton. Stockton pursues, but Hardaway with that high in the air, broad jump play at the basket. Super play.
And Timmy goes to the bench with 17 points and 8 assists. Gary Grant comes on, as does Alonzo Mourning. A playoff atmosphere and a playoff-like game here in Miami tonight. Happy to have you for the finish. 8 minutes left, Heat by 4. So, gonna work for the hook.
Great move. Great ball movement. Good entry pass. Gary Grant as the Heat move the ball well. Jerry Sloan's going to take a timeout. Heat by 6, that time remaining in the 4th. Who is this over here? This is Vachon Leonard. This is Ike Austin. The ball goes inside. Now watch the ball movement. Ike inside has the ball. Freeze it there. Alonzo Mourning is going to make a slash cut as Ike reverses the ball to Gary Grant on the weak side. Let's see that action. And then Grant inside to Mourning. Mourning with the jump hooker. A pretty hooker. What a sight, Alonzo Mourning.
And what a game. It's been a great one here in Miami. The Heat have scored the last 6 points and have had the better guard play. A steal by Mourning and a breakaway.
Alonzo Mourning. Alonzo Mourning with the slammer in the open court. Heat leading by 8.
A Mourning warning. 8-point lead, 7 1/4 left. And this crowd is loving it. Utah with 17 turnovers. Very uncharacteristic. 5 on the shot clock. Grant smothering Hornacek. Look at that defense. Shot clock violation.
Oh, boy. Ike Austin. Let's go back and look at Alonzo Mourning first. John Stockton. No. Alonzo Mourning. Alonzo Mourning. Yes. Great defense at the other end by Ike Austin, who refused to let Karl Malone get the ball inside.
So Zoe comes up with your slam dunk of the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. But there was nothing light about that throwdown. 8 straight points for the Heat, and the Heat lead by 8. Under 7 minutes left. Leonard for 3.
Vachon! Vachon! A three-pointer, Leonard!
The Heat have scored 11 straight points and lead by 11. And they are feeling it. So Vashawn Leonard from Biscayne Boulevard able to knock in Miami's third triple in 12 attempts. Last heat foul was on Leonard, his second. Stockton! Joe got the block, but they're going to call a goaltend. Oh, I thought it might have been his fifth foul. They call the goaltend on Joe, gives Stockton the score.
Let's take a look at it. John Stockton on a quick cut. Can't tell. Did it get off the board? If it got to the board before Zoe hit it, then of course it's goaltending.
That ends the 11-0 run for Miami. Zoe against Ostertag. Tough shot, bounds off to Greg. Just the third rebound of the night for the 7-footer.
Gotta watch Hornacek pulling up right there.
Zip. Jeff Hornacek with a three after going 1 for 9 in this game. That's a big shot for him. And the Jazz back in business, down 6. 6 minutes left.
The Jazz will not go away, Eric. You're going to have to put them away.
Grant on the drive. And Grant draws the foul.
That's good penetration, Gary Grant. Jazz so concerned about the entry pass to Mourning, it opened up a seam for Gary Grant. Watch him turn the corner against Stockton. Yes, the body hit by big Ostertag. Ostertag, 7'2", folks, 280 pounds.
They called that foul on Hornacek, his first of the night. Second team foul on Utah. Took a look at Ostertag there. You talked about their Rocky Mountain Summer League. Greg Ostertag was the featured player on that Summer League team. He was their #1 offensive option, and that really helped his confidence, and he is a much better player because of his summer experience.
Summer work, Eric, has been pivotal for so many players in the NBA.
That's when you get better as a player in this league. 75-67, Miami up 8, 5:40 to go.
Vashawn Leonard defending Stockton. Gary Grant.
Ostertag missed the tip. Gary Grant in the backcourt with 5.5 minutes left.
The Heat doesn't get the opportunities to run with Grant as it does with Hardaway. So they rely more on the half court.
Alonzo Mourning with 8 on the shot clock, swings in and draws a foul. And it is against John Stockton. That is the first foul of the night on John Stockton. Third team foul on Utah. John Stockton, he'll turn 35 in March, but showing very few signs of age. But not having a real banner night. 7 points, 6 assists against the Heat for Stockton.
Now this is subpar for John Stockton, but credit the Heat defense, Eric. Both Hardaway, Gary Grant, and now Vashawn Leonard all have done a very good job keeping John Stockton from penetrating into the basket area. Once he gets there, he's a master at either scoring it or finding the open man.
Zoe has 10 points, 8 rebounds, 4 fouls, and rattles that one down. So Miami leads by 9 with 5:15 left.
Look at Leonard full courting it with Stockton. Just don't let him get past you.
So the chance of defense. Stockton fouled by Leonard on the drive. Mourning came over for the block after the whistle. Third foul on Leonard. Third team foul on the Heat.
Team's third.
Now the Heat defense holding the Jazz under 40% from the field, and they have also forced 18 turnovers.
I think Ike Austin has a cut. He's got some blood showing at any rate.
On the ring finger. So that will bring Tim Hardaway off. Ike Austin goes to the bench. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 6 of 8 shooting. And this place stirring as Hardaway comes back. What an inspirational performance from Miami's floor general. 17 points, 8 assists, battling through those back spasms well. Danilovic comes out now. P.J. Brown comes back. And we are in the stretch run. 5 minutes, 3 seconds to play. Miami leads Utah by 9.
And why John Stockton? John
Stockton. John has 8 points tonight. Utah has outscored the Heat 21-15 at the free throw line. Got them both.
Now, Pat Riley has an unusual lineup on the floor, Eric. He's got 3 guards, T.J. Brown and Alonzo Mourning, hoping to get more perimeter shooting when the ball goes inside if the Jazz double team Zoe.
So, quick move on Ostertag. Strong move. Got it back. Got the bucket. Got the foul. Oh, now Joe Borgia takes it away and calls a loose ball foul on the rebound against Brian Russell. Oh, took away a spectacular effort by Alonzo.
Well, Alonzo makes the effort. There's never a question about that. There's the foul, I thought, on the shot. It seemed as if he were taking the ball to the basket, but we're back sideline out of bounds for the Heat. 4:40 to go in this game.
Utah now with 4 team fouls, so on their necks, the Heat will shoot foul shots rest of the game. Timmy, yes!
John Stockton going under the screen. Hardaway coming off with enough room from Alonzo Mourning's block.
And underneath, Paul Mihalik calls another foul on Miami. This one is on Vashawn Leonard. It's a 9-point lead with 4:27 left. 4th foul on Leonard, 4th on Miami.
Now the Heat must be careful about Utah pressure here, Eric. Zone pressure after a score or from free throws. The Jazz will do that well.
Brian Russell posting on Leonard, and this one's an offensive foul.
Well, he hooked him. Now they're trying to go for that size advantage, getting Byron Russell inside against the smaller Leonard. Let's watch Russell. See, there's the wraparound elbow, and that's always a foul in the NBA.
Evidence presented, and they ruled in the Heat's favor. 19 Utah turnovers, 4 above their average. 4:05 left in the game. Miami leads by 9.
Taking a lot of time for this one.
Hardaway's triple short off the floor to Ostertag. Here comes John Stockton. Hesitation move through the lane. Ameline threw it away.
Oh, great play. Great play. First, Alonzo Mourning.
Here comes Hardaway. Calls the timeout.
Oh, excellent play. What a
play by Hardaway.
What a heady play. Tim Hardaway lost control of that dribble, pursued the ball, and while he was in the air, timeout.
A full timeout to Miami. 3:40 left in a thriller.
Heat by 9, 3:40 left in this ball game. Tim Hardaway loses the handle on this ball. Is he going to lose it altogether? No. In the air, timeout, says Tim Hardaway, and Joe Borgia gives him the call.
And 2 guys enjoying it the most, father and son. To your right, the patriarch of the Miami Heat, Ted Arison. And to your left, the managing partner, Mickey Arison. I'm sure they're enjoying a full house and a terrific game.
Heat have 15 on the shot clock right now to work something out. It's going to be high screen and roll, Mourning and Hardaway.
Hardaway off to Gary Grant. 5 on the shot clock. Leonard short. And out to Stockton. Ahead, Brian Russell. To the easy way for Utah. The lead is 7 with 3:18 left. Heads up throw by Stockton.
Oh, yeah. But his defender, Brian Russell, just took off when Leonard shot the ball. He's got to be back there.
So, for the hook. Rolled off. Rebound to Ostertag. 3 minutes left. A 7-point Miami lead. Karl Malone, who has 25. Comes hard over Zoe. Got the bucket and the foul. Huge play by Karl Malone. And the foul is on Tim Hardaway. His second, the Heat are over the limit. And Malone will go to the stripe looking for 28 and looking to cut this lead to 4.
When the Jazz get in trouble, they know where to go. Karl Malone and John Stockton. Stockton sets that little brush screen that enables Malone to get in the paint and throw that little runner in. As he was taking the ball to shooting position, Tim Hardaway nicked him on the arm, so the mailman has a chance to put a stamp on this play.
Sasha and Dan Marley back in for Miami.
A 3-point stamp, I might add.
Missed it badly.
Only got a 2-pointer on that one. Karl Malone.
Not enough postage.
Not enough postage. You're right, Eric. Came up a little light. The mailman went through his mantra there, or whatever he says to himself, but to no avail.
Well, down to the wire we come. Hardaway with 2:38 to play. Miami up 5. Timmy.
Oh, boy.
You gotta love that gang.
Oh, boy. He is so tough down there. Pat Riley calling his number at the low post. And Hardaway answering the call.
In the Hornacek, got the bucket on a beautiful feed from Stockton.
Yes, and a great cut. Hornacek on the back cut. As soon as he got open, Stockton found him with the ball.
5-point lead, 2:11 left.
Again, Hardaway going down inside against Stockton. There's the double.
So, against Ostertag. Oh, he got there. He got there.
Great crossover move by Alonzo Mourning. Great crossover. Let's take a look at that, folks. Alonzo Mourning showing his dexterity as a ball handler. Stepping out. Ostertag. There's Zoe. Crossover through the lane. Ostertag. Shoes nailed to the floor. And Zoe gets the score and the 3-point opportunity. See if he puts enough postage on this one, Eric.
Zoe has 7 points here in the fourth quarter. 13 with 9 boards in the game.
Too much.
Beat by 7, and it's 56 remaining. And the foul on the catch by P.J. Brown. So quick. Peter over the limit, so Karl Malone will fire a pair. Malone, a 73% foul shooter who has made 7 of his 9 shots at the line tonight. Foul on Brown was his 4th. What a night for Tim Hardaway. You wondered would he play, and how he has played. Incredible. Karl Malone has missed 2 in a row.
John Stockton says something reassuring to Malone. See what happens with this one. The crowd is into it.
As well they should be. You're probably sitting at home stomping and screaming. Karl Malone now with 28. Miami leads 82 to 76. Minute 45 left.
High screen and roll. Hardaway and Mourning. Here's a play where Zoe gets the ball in the paint. Being defended by Antoine Carr.
Great defense by Brian Russell, and now he will jump it up with Danilovic with 1:30 left in the game.
Oh, you've got to get that ball into Mourning when he has that good position in the lane. Heat unable to do it. Jazz control the tap.
A 6-point lead with 1:25 left. Nothing decided yet. And Pat Riley can't believe the fouls being called against his club away from the ball. P.J. Brown with his 5th foul, and that will send guess who right back to the line.
So tough to defend. The basic elements of the Jazz offensive game. Cross screen for Malone. Let him come from the weak side.
(82-77), Malone with 29.
Another factor here, Eric, you cannot afford to allow the Jazz to get a miss, get a recovery on a missed free throw in this situation. No miss.
82-78. Miami by 4. Need a score here with 1:15 left. What a finish. What a game. Dan Marley against Jeff Hornacek. Excuse me, Stockton. Hardaway for 3. And Karl Malone, he kept P.J. Brown at his back. And the Jazz down 4 with the ball under a minute left. Malone for Carr. Got the bucket and the foul. Oh, Utah showing all sorts of composure and execution on the offensive end. Mourning's 5th foul.
And what they get is so simple. Watch, this is Stockton. High screen by Antoine Carr to Malone. Back to Carr. Carr off the glass. And the foul on Alonzo Mourning.
6 unanswered points for Utah. Miami led it 82-75 with 1:58 left. It's now 82-81.
Well, the Heat should go for 2-to-1 situation here, Eric. Get 2 shots to the Jazz, 1. So you have the last shot of the game.
Hardaway.
Terrific play.
Short. Brian Russell with a rebound. Jazz down 1. And it's come down to this. 25 seconds left.
The Heat will get the ball back.
Malone. And the Jazz have the lead. 83-81. Utah has scored the last 8 points.
Karl Malone. Look at him, folks. What a player.
Timeout Miami. They'll get a last shot at this.
Jazz now by 1. That time remaining in the ball game. Here's the last play. John Stockton. Quick bounce pass inside. Karl Malone. Fadeaway jumper. Bottom of the net.
Karl Malone with 32. Utah has scored 8 straight to take a 1-point lead. What do the Heat run to get this lead back?
Well, you know it's going to involve Tim Hardaway somehow, Eric. What they get a lot of mileage from is a high screen involving Hardaway and Mourning, and then Mourning slicing to the post. And this is the play. It goes to Marley and then inside to Zoe. That's the play. Couldn't get it to Zoe.
Heat need a shot for the win. Blocked, but a foul. Antoine Carr can't believe it. 6.5 seconds left. And Tim Hardaway, with a Heat down by 1, will shoot 2.
Eric, the play they ran is just what they normally get for Mourning. And there's the SWAT effort by Antoine Carr, who went after the ball hard, but body contact with Hardaway as he went to the hoop. Timmy with 2.
82 for Miami, 83 for Utah. Oh! Now the pressure really on Tim Hardaway. He has 21 points and 8 assists. He needs this one to even the score at 83.
That was halfway down the chute.
Tie game.
Watch him. Watch him.
Stockton with 3, with 2. P.J. Brown on the block. We are headed for overtime.
And Tim Hardaway dissatisfied with his performance at the free throw line. But his teammates say, come on, Timmy, we got 5 minutes to play.
Welcome back to Miami. We're in overtime. Heat won the tap. Mourning goes to work. Out for Dan Marley's 3. Karl Malone with a rebound. 32 points. 14 rebounds for the mailman. Utah scored 8 straight points in the final 2 minutes of regulation to come from 7 down to 1 ahead. Tim Hardaway made 1 of 2 free throws. And P.J. Brown with a game-saving block on Stockton at the end of regulation. But Stockton drills a triple.
Oh, that's not what Pat Riley wanted. He didn't want the double team from John Stockton.
This game shows you how well you have to play to beat a quality team like Utah. Mourning threw it away, and it's stolen by Stockton. Stockton on a rush for Hornacek. Marley broke it up and commits the foul. And Marley, his first foul of the game. Now, both these clubs 1-0 in their only overtime endeavors, but Utah's jumped in front by 3.
Well, here's the Jazz in the fast break as a result of that turnover, and Hornacek drawing the foul.
At the line, Jeff Hornacek.
And there's the steal on the cross-court attempt by Alonzo Mourning. Hornacek, an 88% free throw shooter for the season. This is the first. How about that?
Jack, the Heat led in the regulation 82-75, a minute 58 left in the game. Utah got back in it, though.
Yeah, well, they had the defensive stops, and they had the old reliable Karl Malone inside. Heat have to get untracked here, Eric. Down 4 in the early going of this overtime.
Utah's got the first 4 points in the OT. Stockton knocked it out of bounds. 11 on the shot clock. 3:44 left in the overtime. 87-83 Utah. Sean Leonard in. Danilovic to the bench. Sasha sits with 11 points.
Coach Riley trying to go for some greater perimeter strength. Good.
Alonzo Mourning wrestled in the post by Antoine Carr, who picks up his second foul.
Now in the overtime, it's the 3rd foul that puts you in the penalty.
Both teams have 1 foul in this OT. Tim Hardaway with 22 points. In the zone over Carr. Good defense, no foul. Karl Malone now has 15 rebounds. And it's getting serious. Utah has owned this game down the final moments. They lead by 4. Heat really need a stop right here, right now.
The Jazz continue to work in the mailman's direction. And he continues to deliver.
34 for Karl Malone. Utah 6-0 here in overtime. As there's still a comeback left in the Heat, we'll find out. Miami takes timeout. Karl Malone takes charge. Oh yes, a wee bit of tension here at Miami Arena. Utah went on a big run at the end of regulation. They were down 7, scored 8 straight points before Miami came back with 1 free throw to tie it at 83. And here in overtime, Utah has owned the period 6-0. And they lead at 89-83 with 3:01 left in the OT. And how good have the Jazz been? Good enough to go to the Western Conference Finals 2 of the last 3 years. They took Seattle to 7 games a year ago. And this is a club that's just so rock solid, Jack. 13 straight trips to the postseason.
Yes, it's anchored by their 2 super guys, Stockton and Malone. But yet unable to get it from the rest of the cast. This year, however, they have added to their bench strength, and I'd say maybe their best chance right now. Oh, that's a big play.
Does the basket count?
I'd give it to him, yes.
Absolutely. Tim Hardaway with a chance at a 3-point play.
Again, Coach Pat Riley, after the timeout, gets a great exit ball inside to Hardaway. As he turns, John Stockton took a chop at the ball. Stockton drew the foul. Hardaway wants the score and got it. Now he's at the line.
Oh, the missed free throws really hurting Miami. 2:56 to go. 89-85. We are in overtime. Tim Hardaway with 24 points.
Where do you think the Jazz will go?
Stockton and Malone.
Indeed.
Hornacek lost the rebound off his foot. Miami ball. 2:40 left. Miami down 4. Don't give up.
Well, the Jazz came from 7 back. See if the Heat can come from 6 back. Plenty of time. Time is not of the essence here.
The Jazz came from 7 down in the final 1:58 of regulation. Off the leg of Hardaway, out of bounds.
That's a killer.
Miami's 16th turnover.
Killers include missed free throws and unforced turnovers. Now the Heat have to dig in, get another stop. It's tough to get stops against this team. It's so fundamentally sound.
Karl Malone with 34 points and 15 rebounds. John Stockton, 12 points, 10 assists. The mailman against PJ. Hornacek along 2. Yes. Jeff Hornacek cold all night, but on target when it's mattered most. He's got 10 points. Utah leads by 6. 2:02 left in overtime. Zoe back from Leonard and fouled by Antoine Carr.
Jazz foul number 55, Antoine Carr, his third.
Third on Antoine, third team foul on Utah.
In the last 2 minutes.
So on Utah's next foul, the Heat will get shots. And it's 52 to play in overtime. Dan Marley just 5 points tonight. Into Brown. Zoe. Blocked by Carr. Zoe stripped by Malone. Oh, 2 terrific defensive plays by Utah. They're trying to bolt the door down. 6-point lead. Hornacek. Bucket here will be huge if Utah can come up with it. Karl Malone double team. Brian Russell 2 to shoot. Offensive foul. P.J. Brown on the draw, and the Heat still with an opportunity down by 6.
Foul number 3, Brian Russell, his 4th personal foul.
4th foul on Brian Russell.
Heat must have a score with this possession.
Dan Marley, runner, rolls off, tipped in by Leonard. Vashawn Leonard with a big tip.
All right, trailing 4 now. Jazz will use a lot of time off the clock in setting up.
He'd have to have another stop.
Indeed, Eric. They must have a stop. A turnover would be big here.
Shot clock at 10. Karl Malone fires. No. Hardaway with a rebound. Here comes Tim for Leonard. And taken away by Jeff Hornacek from behind. Miami's ball, 36.8 left. Utah's transition defense has been spectacular.
Excellent. Watch this play from behind. Jeff Hornacek never gave up on the play and deflected that ball. Attempted to be shot by Vashawn Leonard. Hornacek knocked it out of bounds instead. Watch it. There's Hornacek. Is it Hornacek? No, it's Stockton. Excuse me, it was John Stockton who came all the way back.
Well, Saturday night, the Heat in Houston, Texas to go against Hakeem Olajuwon on the Rockets. We'll have it for you with an 8:30 start time on UPN 33. Then Monday night, we'll see David Robinson and the Spurs in San Antonio. Again, an 8:30 start on UPN 33. But this game's still in the balance with the Heat down 4.
Now, the thing the Heat must do here, Eric, is get a field goal quickly so that the Jazz won't be able to run off the clock with 24 seconds left.
Tough pass, and it's taken away. What a poor time for a turnover. And that may have been the best chance for the Heat, and it just slipped away. Dan Marley's inbound stolen by Brian Russell, and Alonzo Mourning has just fouled out. Well, I think this one was decided with Utah's tremendous final 2 minutes in regulation. They came from 7 down with 1:58 left. Took a 1-point lead. Tim Hardaway had a chance for the win when he went to the free throw line with a Heat down 1 and 6.5 seconds left. Timmy missed the first, made the second, which tied the game, and Utah has owned the overtime.
Now, the Jazz have been very good, Eric. Give them credit. And they would not permit the Heat to get good scoring opportunities. And the Heat squandered chances at the free throw line as well. Tough.
Mourning fouls out for the 5th time this year. Tonight, 13 points, 11 rebounds. You want to see a team unhappy in the locker room? Come visit the Heat tonight. They do not take well to losing. And finally, a foul put on Jeff Hornacek. That must be a tough one for the coaches as well as the players. The game you did so much right, in position to win in the final 2 minutes, and could not close it against a quality opponent.
Well, the coaches cannot make free throws, and on the floor they cannot execute. They can present the game plan, Eric. That's all they can do. The game plan was sound enough to give the Jazz a lot of credit. They've won big games these last several seasons just like this.
Well, Miami
Stockton,
missed free throws and turnovers. Yes, Malone and Stockton and Hornacek, those guys stepped up.
Antoine Carr defending Alonzo Mourning did a good job down the stretch.
And the Heat will call timeout with 18 seconds left, and Utah on the road and ahead by 6 here in overtime. This game was tied at 83 at the end of regulation. Utah has been the better team in overtime. They lead at 93-87. When they need offense, they go to Karl Malone, who has delivered 34 points, 15 rebounds. John Stockton, 12 points, 10 assists. For the Heat, Tim Hardaway been the best man, 24 points, 8 assists. He has acquitted himself admirably, playing through the pain of those back spasms.
Well, you can't fault all that stuff, Eric, but I think, again, you've got to credit this Jazz team that knows how to win, and with players like Stockton and Malone, they just make it happen. They're so sound with their game at both ends of the floor.
And they reflect that hard-nosed leadership from their coach, Jerry Sloan. Talk about earning a win. Utah about to do that. E.J. Brown battling on the board. Leonard for 3. Karl Malone with his 16th rebound. Well, Utah opened up this 5-game road trip Tuesday night, losing at New York by 5. And after 15 straight wins, the Jazz had lost 2 of 3 coming in here. But like a heavyweight champ, they rallied back from the ropes, down 7 with 1:58 left in regulation. And they are on the doorstep of an overtime road win.
Very tough game for the Heat to lose. They started off so well. Remember the fast break category, Eric? The Heat had 8 fast break points in the first period, ended up with 12 for the game. So only 4 fast break points after the first period, and that was one of the key factors that we thought the Heat needed to do if they were going to win. First period, the pace was very good for the Heat. Since then, it's been at Utah's tempo.
Now, the sobering news for Miami, their home record is 6-5 with this loss. Just a game over 500 at home. And now they will head back to the road. A Texas 2-game trip with a 10-game road winning streak with them. Well, the Heat played their hearts out, but Utah better down the stretch, riding the shoulders of their 9-time All-Star, Karl Malone. So the Jazz grab their 19th win of the year, and they make it 5 in a row against Miami and 9 of the last 10.